everybody, it's Smoothbrain here, and today I'm going to start a new series called Beauty Battles. Today we're going to have a battle between the newcomer Mocha Moment by Gourmande Girls. Gourmande Girls is an independently owned beauty company, and they make lots of beautiful eyeshadow palettes as well as some other things, and I'm going to show you one of them in a little bit. Look at this palette. So the Mocha Moment palette is a theme based around the Pantone color of the year, and this palette has 15 beautiful shades, both matte and sparkly, and I will tell you, this is a beautiful palette. What could possibly compete with that? Well, interestingly, it's someone who's been in the news a little bit, and that's Huda Beauty. Huda Beauty is a pretty mainstream, although independently owned beauty company. She is in Sephora, and Huda Katan owns the company. Now, I need two palettes to compete with the one from Gourmande Girl. And the reason is the color stories aren't exact. We have the Mercury Retrograde palette, which is a lovely palette, and it has 18 lovely colors. This palette retails for $69, both on her website and at Sephora. I'm not sure if you can get that one anymore, but in order to supplement that, I also have here the Rose Quartz palette, which is $69 as well. For your information, Mocha Moment is only $57. Now, it has less shades, but it's quality versus quantity. So let's see which one has the better quality and what lasts longer. Here is that lovely Rose Quartz palette. Oops. And you can see both the Mocha Moment and the two Huda palettes are very cool toned, and they have a variety of pinky, mauvey, and brownish shades that we'll be looking at. Now, before we start, I'd like to swatch the entire Mocha Moment palette for you. Again, just a reminder, it's based on the Pantone color of the year, which is Mocha. Her previous year palette that was based on Pantone color of the year is a peach one, and that's lovely too. I don't have that. I'm hoping I will be able to get that soon. I did buy a couple other ones that were on deep discount while I was at the site. And I'll do a reel or something like that for you to show you those palettes because they're a little older. So we have the first four colors, which are Marble Mocha, Cafe Mocha, Mocha Mousse, which is a nice dark wheat color, and Biscotti with Mocha. Let's zoom in a little bit. Here are those four colors. Look at that. So pretty. I love that Marble Mocha one. It has like this bluish undertone to it that's just gorgeous. And if we swatch them, wow, that swatch just keeps going and going and going and going. I'll show you on my wrist. And the mattes are really buttery and smooth and very pigmented as well. Maybe this one can get bumped up a little bit. So look how far I can drag that out. And you can really smooth them out and get a really nice, beautiful blend of that. They do feel a little flaky in the pan, but once you smooth them out, they're really beautiful and not flaky on the skin. We'll see if that works out on the eye too. The next four colors are three mattes and a sparkly one. And it is Mocha Madness and Peppermint Mocha, and I think I'm going to be using that one because the Peppermint Mocha is very close to something by Huda in the Rose Quartz palette. We also have Churro with mocha. That sounds freaking delicious. And matcha mocha, which is this gorgeous greeny color. Look at those. Yeah, these are very pigmented, and the mattes are just really buttery and soft. They're not like too dry, they're not too moist, they're not like that putty formula. Look at those. I love that green. I want to play with the green. We probably won't play with that because the green is not in the Huda palettes, but there is a blue green, so maybe we'll do something with that. Okay. The next shades are a lovely, pretty, lighter wheat color, like a more yellow wheat, called White Choco Mocha. Choco Mocha! Man, I'm gonna like have to eat a pound of chocolate tonight. Then we also have, what is this? It's hard to read this a little bit on the package. Java Mocha. Another really pretty one called Mexican Mocha. It's like a purpley brown. And Maui Mocha, which is a purpley brown, but it's more of a matte. So let's look at those. Oh, that purple one's so pretty. And it's like smearing in this weird way across the palm of my hand. You'll see. That gives it like a flip. Brownie to more purple. It's just gorgeous. And then the last three colors are Mellow Mocha, which is like a light khaki-ish green. And then there's Chai with Mocha, which is really an army green. And then finally, Midnight Mocha. And again, these three are really pigmented. So let's see what they look like. Yep, that's green, all right. Oh, wow. The Midnight Mocha does have a little bit of, it looks like it needs another coat, so you might have to build that one up, but I'll build it up and show you. Yeah, that's nice. All right, that's our contender. And let's see what Huda has to offer. Now, like I said, Huda has been in a little bit of controversy lately. I am not one to judge on that. I have my own opinions on that particular topic, but I will say that when you own a brand, or even when you're putting out a public persona, you should be very careful about what you say because it can come back to bite you. And even though I have Huda beauty products that I've had for a while, I probably won't be looking into getting anything new anytime soon. Mainly because I have so much makeup, but also let's just see how this pans out before we do anything. So for the Huda Beauty Mercury Retrograde, I'm gonna do some Vortex and Hot Mess, as well as Crash, which is close to some of the other ones. And then also let's look at Gold Glitch. And I will say that these feel a lot more powdery. And they are pigmented, but they seem like they need to be built up more than the Gourmande Girl ones. And that's fine if you know that. You would just have to apply additional product. They're nice. And then from the Rose Quartz, let's look at my favorite color, the Serenity. Oops, that's not Serenity. Serenity. We'll look at that Abundance, Cosmic Love, which is very purpley, and also let's look at Energized. And these, again, they're swatching okay, and I will say that I certainly can't drag this all the way down my wrist, but they're decent shimmers. They're just not special shimmers. But you can probably get a very similar look. So let's try that out, and I'll be back with the look and show you how I did it, and we'll come back and have a fair comparison of who wins what, when, where, etc. Let's put on some blush. I have the Huda Beauty blush, and I do like these liquid blushes. They're pretty. And I have it in two colors. This one is, oh wow, I can't even read that. I'll list it down below what it is. And then for my lipstick, I'm going to be using the Gourmande Girls lip oil in Chocolate Cake, because chocolate cake is great. And what goes better with mocha than chocolate cake? So for this look, we're going to start with Mocha Moment. We're going to use this lovely peppermint mocha. Let's use that. I'm not using any primer with this. We'll just see how it works without the primer. And again, it's pretty pigmented. And then for Huda, we're going to use the Rose Quartz Serenity color. We'll see how close that is. I'd say this is probably a little bit more purpley, a little bit deeper. There is some kick up in the pan of the Gourmande Girls, but there's also kick up in the Huda Beauty one. Okay, for our dark shade, let's use Maui Mocha, and we'll just use a small brush to just really put that. Ooh, this looks really, we're just gonna dot it here and see how it works out. Ooh, that's pretty. Ooh. I'm just gonna place it. I'm not gonna wing it out. I'm just gonna place it and bring it over just a little bit into the crease. And just blend it out with this fluffy brush that I have already used, and I'm not dipping into it again. Okay. For Huda, we're going to use Vortex. It's a little bit more purple, but it's probably the closest we have. Yeah, this is going to take a lot more product to get the same result, I think. It's pretty though. It works. Okay. And then let's do some shimmers. I think we're going to use some Mexican mocha for the shimmer for Gourmande Girls. Oh, that's so pretty. Look at that. And maybe in the corner we'll use this greenish gold, which is Java Mocha. Well, that's really soft. I'm just going to bring that up a little bit as well. Look at that. Okay. And then for the Huda, we're going to use the color Cosmic Love. That's definitely more bluey purple than the other one. And it's just, it's pretty, but it doesn't have any flip or anything. Let me just. And for the gold color, let's use Gold Glitch. Gold Glitch, where are you, Gold Glitch? And again, this gold is gold, whereas the Gourmande Girl one has a pink flip to it. Let's have some fun and put some cool colors on underneath the eye. So for the Gourmande Girl, you know I can't resist that green. The green! Oh wow, that's pretty. And for Huda, we might as well go for that blue-green color. Haze. That's also pretty. But honestly, I like the way the green goes with these mocha tones better than the blue-green goes with the purple tones. But it's still pretty. And then finally, let's like play with something in the inner corner for both of them. I'm going to put some marble mocha in the inner quarter here. Oh, that's gorgeous. Look at that. And for Huda, I'm going to use this color called Supermoon, which is like a white flaky color. Also very pretty. So which one do you prefer? Let's break it down. So, for the mattes, I will give it to Gourmande Girl. I feel they're more buttery. I feel that they are more pigmented, and they're very easy to blend out. Huda also gets a high mark though, and her formula is very buildable. The second thing is the shimmers. Who wins in shimmers? That one, by a long run, is Gourmande Girl. And Gourmande Girl wins it simply because of the depth and flips on her different formulas. They're so gorgeous. I'm going to wear this all the time. The shimmers in the Huda palette, I would probably give them about a 3 out of 5. They're good. They're not great. They're good. And then finally, for price, who wins it? Well, the pans in the Huda, you get a lot of them for, what did I say it was? $69. But for $59, you get these gorgeous, buttery, rich colors. The color story is gorgeous. Again, it's It's cheaper and the quality is so much better that I have to give it to Gourmande Girls. So the winner today is Mocha Moment. Woo! Join me for my next beauty battle. If you'd like to see a particular type of beauty battle between two brands, list it down below in the comments. And please, feel like you want to subscribe, go ahead and do it. I'm accepting all new people to subscribe right now. All right, have a great day. Remember, don't be sad, be happy. And I'll talk to you soon. Bye.